Right. Let's see if I don't know if Tariq's going to come out on here or not, but I'm going to show you something. I'll let you just let it, just a conversation. While I start this, just to let you know, like, I had a letter sent to me from the UK on the 7th of February, and I got it today. So what's that? Not bad delivery service. And when it came here, I had to pay €2.50 for the delivery. You know, we're busy tonight. Yes, Jean. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna just do another one. Actually, I'm waiting for Tariq, but obviously you're for the reasons why Tariq's at the moment. Now, Tariq, as you should know, I don't know if you know, Tariq. I believe there was 27, possibly more, 27, apparently 27 orders, court orders, which, by the way, none of them, there's no sealed orders. There's no sealed orders. This is an absolute assassination attempt on Tariq. And I'm going to share these videos first, just because obviously there's a time limit on them. And the other ones that Tariq had sent me, they've now gone. I take it he's also got them anyway. He's got them recorded somewhere. So 17th of March, front door. So right, let me just, before I do that, let me share you. Right then. So this goes to. This is, by the way, this is an innocent man. Yeah, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Tariq has never once been proven guilty. In fact, none of these hearings were court hearings. There is no record. There is no case management files, and there's no sealed orders on any of this. So this is all nonsense. Yeah. So let me share the screen. So share screen. So this is first things first. Facebook. So this here is Woking Beat, Surrey Police. So I hope you're watching this, Woking Beat, Surrey Police, because you've made a claim here. You've put it out in the public now. You've made it for public awareness, and you've put that public awareness out on a man, a living man that I know personally, and I know that we've gone through all these things. So let me. This is what you've put in here. Wanted. Tariq Zahid, chat with us online, Surrey Police. Okay? So I should have a chat with you online. In fact, I am going to have a chat with you online as well. So Woking Beat, Surrey Police. Okay? We are appealing for the public help in finding Tariq Zahid from Woking, who is wanted for breaching a stalking protection order. Now, you've just called that Surrey Police. Now, first things, we need to see that order. We need to see that order has been sealed. We need to see that order has been generated from an authentic and valid court case, court hearing. And it has a case management file. That in that case management file, it has got an application form sealed by the court and that is attached to a layer of information by a living man or woman making a statement of truth or fact, yes, or a police statement made under caution under the penalty of perjury that Tariq has caused any harm, loss or injury. For this order to be an authentic order, which you're calling it, you've made the claim that there is a breach, there's a protection order. So you're saying he's got a stalking protection order. Yeah, and he's breached that stalking protection order. You need to prove and validate that that is of material fact and actually is of substance and actually due process and no procedures were breached to create that for it to be valid, legal and lawful. So listen up, Surrey Police, pay attention. You now have made that claim. You now have to produce the material evidence to substantiate that claim, because I know that Tariq sent in and there is no sealed orders. So you're talking of a fiction, but you've made it very clearly what you want to do, because you want to disappear him. Funny, isn't it? After he's phoned up the police to report the murder of his mother. You know, you terrorized and tortured this man's mother. We have that on video as well. The police constantly going around his mother's house, who Tariq was caring for. So, police, any decent police in there, I'm talking the ones that are not Freemasons. So any police in Surrey Police that aren't Freemasons, because we know the Freemasons are not going to be doing anything, because they're the ones that are doing this, because you all work in what we all named, which was the pyramid of terror, because the council, the courts and the police are all working in unison together, and they're all breaching their duties and all treasonous as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So you're saying that Tariq has connections in work in London and Thames. Yeah, I should imagine he's got a lot of good friends out there now, because they know exactly what you criminals are doing. And by the way, it's like a liar. A liar is a liar because he knows the truth, right? But regardless, whether he knows it or not, it's still a lie, okay? Whatever you say, if it's not the truth, it's a lie. So whether you know it or not, whether that stalking order is or not, it's only a presumption, and you're making that presumption. And I'm formally challenging you here live on Facebook. I'm formally challenging you now. You've claimed that there is a stalking protection order. I now require you to provide the material evidence that that was followed, that was created with due process, and there was no procedures breaching, no procedures breached. I require to see a case management file with an attachment to, should I say, inclusive of an application form to generate a case number that this so-called stalking protection order came from. That application form must be sealed by the court, and it also must be attached to a layer of information. And in that layer of information must be an affidavit or statement of truth or a police statement. Both would require to be signed under the penalty of perjury by a living man claiming that Tariq has caused harm. Because none of your acts and statutes applies to Tariq, because Tariq has never given consent for those to be given enforcement by law. And you're enforcing law on this man here now. And he has never consented, and I can vouch that. I can vouch that Tariq has never given his consent for your acts or statutes to apply to him. So you must have a claim from a living man or woman saying that he's caused harm. Right? And that must be within inside that case management file that you're saying that this stalking protection order was generated from. Otherwise, you're lying and you've put it out in the public, and we need to see those. You need to verify those now, because we are now here formally challenging you to do that. And also, let's say the same here, because here we have Surrey Live, who is a newspaper. Now, newspapers must do their due diligence, because they shouldn't be putting stuff out. And this is a newspaper that has put the same thing out. Say they are breaching. How can you breach something that doesn't exist? Now then, this now goes to you, Surrey Live. Surrey Live, you have put out in public, yes, stating that he has breached an order. That order, therefore, must be provable, must be substantiated. You now are being formally challenged. You all criminals, I am telling you now, unless you challenge, until you prove me different. You are all criminals because you're all lying. Whether you know you're lying or not, I'm not interested. The fact is, a lie is a lie, and truth is the truth. Now prove that to be true. And the only way you're going to do that is by providing what the courts have already said that they haven't got, because there is no case management file. Therefore, if there's no case management file, that stupid number that you've got doesn't make anything. It can't mean anything. There is no case, because there was never a case to answer to. If there was never a case to answer to, this is all make-believe, and you're all making it up. And you've been terrorizing this man for God knows how long that I've been witnessing. So, going back. So now we'll go to this here. This is the police. This states 17th of March. So I take it was probably early hours of the morning, or less. This was just the date that they sent it. But I take it does definitely state 17th of March there. So that is today. So I would say that was probably the early hours of the morning. Now let's have a listen. So let me just go back there because I do believe we've got his number. Let me just go back. So I'll put a shout out. Yes, so there, pause. So, police constable. I don't want you in your office. I don't want you in your officer's position. I want to hold you now as a police constable under your oath of office, which ultimately swears through to the coronation oath, which is to God, to stand in the truth and honour. Now I'm asking you, Police Constable 41402, contact me and provide me with the material evidence to substantiate the claim that you're going around there lawfully and that you have a sealed order that's been generated correctly, lawfully and legally with, like I've said earlier, with an affidavit or statement of truth by a living man. There has to be a claim. There has to be a claim of any harm, loss, or injury done by a living man that Tariq has caused any harm, loss, or injury to. Yeah, and that must be inside the case management file. Yeah, that is allocated to that case number, which is also allocated to the case management file, which that order must have been generated from. So I'm asking you kindly, very kindly, PC 41402, kindly get in touch and kindly provide the material evidence to substantiate the claim, and I will retract this and say thank you very much, and I will then put it out to the fact that you have an lawful order, because we know, yes, that the courts have said that they don't have it. Okay, so that you should know that, Mr. Policeman, all of you policemen that are doing this, Tariq, yeah, leave Tariq alone. Go and substantiate your claims first before you get given orders to go and breach, because you're breaching your own duty, your own oath, because you're going out and terrorizing a man just because you've been told to. And just following orders, as you should well know, yeah, doesn't bear well for you, and it didn't bear well for anybody else with the Nuremberg trials at the end of the Second World War. And you know we're at war now, and you know this is a control. So stop, hold back, hold yourself back. Give yourself centered, get yourself centered and think to yourself seriously before you continue this. Go and check you are correct before you continue in this incorrect dealings that you're doing now. You're terrorizing a man. He's just lost his mother, and you know that you're doing this because he reported that. There are 3 cards there, is there? You know, all this. You taxpayers out there, yeah? You people paying your council tax and all this. This is what you're paying for terrorists to come out. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, this copper here. See this copper here? I'm not saying he's a bad guy. Okay, he was trying to nick the camera, by the looks of it. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but it wasn't looking good for him, was it? You know? The point is, yeah, that man is doing an order. He's been given an order. The biggest problem in this world we've got is order followers. I'm telling you now, yeah, I'm giving you warning, yeah? I'm giving you a warning for your own good. A warning for your own good. Stop and check your order is valid. check and make sure what you're being told is true and of material fact. Any presumption simply requires a formal challenge. I am now challenging all of you policemen out there that are saying that there is any order on Tariq to go and do your due diligence, and don't just pull up some piece of paper, because if you want, I'll write you an order out right now to go and jump off a bridge. Yes, you're not going to go and follow that order, are you? If I just make it out to look good, you're going to go and do it. I'm warning you now, it's not going to bear well for you. Do your due diligence, Mr. Policeman, and go and check for sure what you're doing is correct, because I can assure you, yeah, I have different information, and so does Tariq. But he can't come anywhere near of any of you guys because you're so compartmentalized. You haven't got a clue to go back and do your due diligence and find out whether or not what you're trying to make, what you're trying to enforce is enforceable, because it isn't. It's just a piece of paper, been generated from nothing, out of nothing, because there is nothing. Okay? Let me go back to the next one. It gets better. It gets better, guys. That's what these policemen are doing out there. You know, can you blame these policemen? They're just doing what they're told, aren't they? You know, you policemen out there that just do as you're told, yeah? Well, you know, I'm telling you guys, yeah, stop and give yourselves a heads a wobble, will you? You know, here's just one man here talking, speaking up for another man, because, listen, I'd do the same if it was for you, Mr. Policeman. If this was being done to you, yeah, I'd be doing exactly the same for you. If I saw you being terrorized, yeah, through lies and deceit and trickery, and people like you being used as pawns in the game to go and do something wrong just because you're following orders, because Boss Boy told you to, because Freemason Master Boy come and said, get this man out of the way, he's causing too much trouble, we need him gone. Listen, you know, they're giving you crap counterfeit pieces of paper. This order never was an order. It was never generated with due process. All the procedures have been breached. I guarantee you there's no seal on that document that they're calling an order. So now we have Officer 41307. I'll say the same to you, sir. You've just been round to an innocent man's house because you're working on paperwork which has been created fraudulently. There is no court hearing. That is not a court order. I'm formally challenging that. Any presumption, and you can't call a piece of paper substance. What you're claiming has no substance. A piece of paper is just words. There is nothing there. There is no seal on that. There is no wet ink signature on that as the author for it. You're working on fiction by fiction, giving you an order. If they told you to go and jump off a bridge, you would not do it. But they're telling you to go around and arrest an innocent man and beat him up again because you broke his legs and all sorts, you guys. Incorrect. Incorrect, guys. Arrest yourselves first before you go around doing it. What I'm saying to you is go and do your due diligence and check to see whether or not that order you're claiming is an order, not just a piece of paper made up by sick people working within that pyramid of terror, yeah, that you all work from, yeah? The police are at the top because they're the enforcers. The council and the what's-its just go around collecting, don't they? Because that's what the courts and the council do, yeah? And you silly policemen, and I'm calling you silly because you are being silly, because you're now going around to enforce something that doesn't exist. You're being a part of the problems. Stop it. Because if you think they're not going to come to you eventually, they will be. And they'll be coming for your family as well. Will you then be going around still doing the same? Possibly, yes. Because that's all you ever know, isn't it? Stop and think about it, guys. We need to pull ourselves together. This isn't just unity of the people. This is unity of the police too. because you need us and we need you in some form. We actually don't need you. I never have needed a policeman because I can police my own self, thank you very much. I don't need a government because I can govern myself, thank you very much. And so can we all, really. And if we was all good people, there wouldn't be any need for any of you, would they? And you could get on with doing what you like to do in this world and make heaven on earth just like everybody else could. So please, every single one of you policemen, when you're listening to this and you're watching this, I'm telling you, I'm formally challenging every single one of you now to prove that what you're claiming is of material fact, because those orders are not orders. They're just pieces of paper. Prove me wrong, and I'm waiting to hear from you. They have beaten Tariq. They have terrorized him and tortured him. They tortured and terrorized his mother too. This was his mother's house before the hospitals killed her. Tariq reported her death as a murder. The doctor even told him to do so. They couldn't believe what they did to his mother. The police have dropped the charges. Why would they drop the charges? Because they added to it, yeah, what he was telling them. Because he was also saying, not only has the hospital done this, you police have done this because you've been acting on pieces of paper all this time. He reported to you all those fake orders, those fake numbers that you call case numbers. There are no case numbers because there are no cases, because there's no case management file to any of them. 27, I believe there are. 27 fake orders. Do you not see the terrorization that you're doing to this man? Listen, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. You go and see the court. You go and see if there's a case management file. See where the public record stands with this, because there is no public record of any of these things. These are private for-profit organizations, guys. I'm talking to you police now. You have no right to deal with a man. You corporations have no contract with Tariq, and Tariq has never given his consent. You are all war criminals. You are being war criminals by doing what you're doing. And like I said, the Nuremberg Treaty, the Nuremberg trial, it told you, you only have to look into it, guys. Just following orders is not going to save you. Okay? So I'm asking you kindly to go and do your due diligence and leave this man alone until you have. When you have, then you can come back and you can make that public apology, and you can take that crap out of the paper, and you can put that apology in that paper too, because you put it out in the public now. You are required to not only do that, you can recompense that guy for the damages that you've done to him. May I remind you, no man is above the law. No man. That includes myself. I'm here as a concerned citizen. I'm here as a member of the public. I'm here as a friend of you guys, you policemen that are doing this now to Tariq. I'm warning you. I'm giving you a warning. You're doing something very wrong, guys. You're being given false information, guys. You're being lied to by your bosses. Your bosses are just saying, yeah, it's a piece of paper. Go and all listen. Tell your boss to prove to you that the pieces of paper they're calling orders were generated with due process and no procedures are breached. Because you know it's all nullity. It's all void ab initio. All that. Fraud vitiates everything. Fraud takes it right the way back, so there never was. And all the tortures that you've been doing to Tariq, he was right to say what he was saying to you guys, to tell you to jog off, because you was all being criminals. Like I say, and a liar is a liar because he knows the truth. I don't personally believe you policemen and women think that you're doing anything wrong. I personally believe you think you're upholding the law and you're doing what you should do. But I'm telling you now, you don't know that those pieces of paper are authentic or valid. And listen, somebody telling you doesn't make it valid, because I'm telling you, yeah, that presumption is being formally challenged here and now for and on the public record. And you now are required to go and provide the material evidence to substantiate your claims. This is the only thing we can do, guys. You know, all I'm asking you is to do the honorable thing. We're here with clean hands. Tariq is here with clean hands. You guys are dirty. Whether you know it or not, you're dirty. You're paying for this, guys. You taxpayers out there. You people who are paying your council tax. This is what you're paying for. And don't think they won't come for you, guys. Because sooner or later, these private for-profit corporations, yeah, that you think are courts, these private for-profit corporations that you think are councils are here to strip every last penny, children, property, everything they've got of the people. And these police, knowingly or unknowingly, yeah, are going to be doing it to themselves soon once they've stolen everything off the people. Everyone in public office should be taken in for a narcissist test. Every man in public office should also be done for a drugs test. We, the people, pay them. The employees of the people, we, the people, demand that every single man, woman, and whatever they are inside that public office should take a narcissist test. Number one, they should also all be drug tested. They are incompetent to serve. They are just following orders. These people will do anything that they are told without reason, without question. They'll just go and do it because their boss boy told them. These are dangerous people. They are dangerous people. And we, the people, need to hold them accountable. Yeah? So listen, Mr. Policeman, I'm formally challenging you. I'm being honourable. I'm formally challenging every single one of you that are going around doing this to Tariq. Produce the material evidence to substantiate your claim, because I know that I am told with 100% surety that none of these orders have been generated lawfully, and therefore they are all void. Okay? There's one more, yeah? Well, one more. The next one is the woman that's always there. She's really got it in for Tariq. Phone my dad, I can be free in a few minutes. I need to get charger. All right. Last one. This is the woman that we had many of the woman who comes. You'll see the woman in a second. I hope you can hear it okay. This is the guy, and these are the daytime staff really ones. These have had it prop all the way through. Not the one dressed in the uniform there. I've not really seen any video. 22nd of February. I think it was, I forget when it was actually, I mean, because I think it was probably around that or a little bit before that when Tariq phoned the police up and reported about the murder of his mother. He also attached that crime number to the crime number that Mark Sexton had put on, because the first police station that he phoned it through, they wouldn't take it as a crime number because he'd added all of his case numbers of all these fake orders that these police are going around doing what they're doing. Okay, so the police fully well know, because he's reported it. This is why they're doing what they're doing. They have to arrest him and prove it right, just like everybody else is, see? Because you can't expose these courts, because this fraud, they're all fiction. There's no facts, any facts here. These police are just going around just doing orders because they've been told. There's no facts, there's no substance. So these policemen, this policeman, he's not the numbers on that, yeah? But I'm telling you guys, yeah, go and do your due diligence. Because sooner or later, yeah, you will all be held accountable. That's a fact, because the law will be upheld against you all when the people stand up and rise and realise, because the people are the government, not the idiots that you think are, because you're all governed, and you're governed by the people. And when the people rise up in a consciousness and awareness of what is actually going on here and stand up and hold you all accountable, every single one of you are going to have to answer for what you've been doing. But I was just following orders. Sorry, guys. You know it didn't wash in the Nuremberg trials, and it ain't going to wash in this one neither. Now, I'm not here for any vengeance. I don't want anyone to hate police. What I want is you police to do your due diligence before you go following orders. Because remember, you wouldn't do it if you was told to go jump off a bridge. So don't go doing other things unless you've made sure what it is you're doing is correct, because you've got criminals within inside your organisation. Yeah, the number in a minute. Okay, I'll read it.
Hello, sir. Who's this? Hello?
41189. Right. Police Constable 41189. I'm not speaking to no officer, because I'm not speaking to no corporate thug, but as a public servant, yeah, as a police constable, yeah, you sworn an oath. You sworn an oath. That oath, yeah, ultimately was to the Queen and ultimately was to the coronation oath, which is to God, which is truth, yeah. God is the truth. You want the full truth and nothing but the truth. So, since as you've sworn your oath, yeah, sworn on that oath, yeah, you know how bad it is if you breach that oath. You are also to adhere to the Nolan principles. The Nolan principles is number one, yeah, honesty. Number two, integrity. Number three, selflessness. You understand what selflessness means? Just with those three is enough to adhere to, yeah, if you was to do your proper due diligence right now. You are there to arrest a man on a order. You're being told that there is a breach of an order. If that breach of an order is an order, fair play to you. If that breach of the order is not an order, and you've been told that it's an order, but actually it's just a piece of paper, that's not fair play to you. So I'm giving you the warning that you now, because I am formally challenging you, I am formally challenging every police officer that claims that there's an order to go and do their due diligence and to make sure that, number one, I'll repeat it again and again, there has to be a public record. You've made it public, guys. There has to be a public record of this audit, because you've said it in the public. So it's a public record. So there's going to be a public record. And this is going to be a court of public record. And there's going to be a case management file. And in that case management file, yeah, is going to be the application form that's sealed by the court. and it's going to be attached to a layer of information. That layer of information, number one, mainly is the statement of truth, right? An affidavit or a police statement made under caution, signed under the penalty of perjury, which is attached to the substance, which is either the witness statements or the material evidence to substantiate those claims that have been made within the affidavit or the police statement. Okay. Also, therefore, there would also be a filing fee receipt so that that was filed within the court. The filing fee receipt would also be within that case management file. They would also have in that case management file the proof of service that any proceedings had been issued by the court to Tariq. Tariq has never been served with any proceedings issued by a court. Tariq has never been to a court because there has never been a court, because all of them are fake. They are simple administration. There is no law here. They are just trading on his surety. So guys, Mr. Policeman and Mr. Police women, constables, I'm not talking about officers here, because you're nothing more than mafia henchmen going around collecting and taxing on the revenue. Listen, all you corporate thugs don't mean anything because the corporation, requires the consent to enforce any act or statute upon it. So if you're talking acts or statutes, then where is the consent to be governed that you require for those to be enforceable? And that was stipulated out by Theresa May, out there for the world to see, that the people are policed by the consent of them. They, the governed, the consent. There is no governed. The people are not governed because there isn't a government, because it's nothing more than a corporation. And we don't have a contract with your corporation. So therefore, the taxation rules and regulations don't apply to the men and women outside, but they most certainly apply to every single one of you policemen and women because you have a contract. So therefore, yes, they do apply, but to you and you alone. So do your due diligence, Mr. Policeman and women, and go and prove what you're claiming, that there is a breach of an order, because you can't breach nothing. Because if there's nothing, then there is nothing. Don't call it an order. You've made the claim that there's an order. Now, the maximum law states that now you carry the burden of proof because you've made the claim. You made the claim that there is an order that's been breached. Now prove the material fact that that order is of material fact and not just a piece of paper. And it carries the authority of the court because it was done with due process and no procedures were breached.
So, Mr. Zahid?
This woman here. This woman here. This woman here, this woman here, I don't know. I'm not saying she's good or bad. I don't even know her name. But I know one thing, she hasn't done her due diligence. And she's got it in for Tariq. And so has the other guy, because they've been at him for a long time. And all this time, they've been told very clearly from Tariq that there is nothing, but they can still continue. They haven't listened to Tariq one bit. They just listen to their boss boys and do as they're told. You forget, Mr. Policeman and women, that you serve we the people, not your master.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you very well. The sound's not coming out great. Right, Mr. Tariq, are you in or are you not? That's all we've got to know. Are you in or are you not? Mr. Tariq, are you in or are you not? Mr. Tariq, are you in or are you not? Mr. Tariq, are you in or are you not? Mr. Tariq, are you in or are you not?
Mr. Tariq. Mr. Tariq. His name isn't Mr. Tariq. He hasn't got a title. He's not the lowest form rank on a ship. Just because that's your program and you can't get it out of your head doesn't mean you're right.
You're not. And I'm asking you a question, and I'm asking you a question. Are you in or are you not? Okay. Goodbye.
Answer his question. Answer his question. Can you imagine this now, guys? Imagine hiring a butler and the butler was talking to you like this. Because that's what these guys are. Remember, if they're here to do anything to Tariq, they must have something, yeah? They've got to have some form, yeah, of an affidavit from a living man or woman saying that Tariq's caused them any harm, loss, or injury. Where is it, Mr. Policeman? Because if you haven't got that affidavit, yeah, from a living man or woman saying that he's caused harm, loss, or injury, yeah, then you must have a contract with him, because you don't own him, do you? You don't own the man, do you? He's not your bitch, is he? He certainly ain't your bitch, I can assure you. So if he ain't your bitch, yeah, you therefore, oh, you must have a contract with him then, have you? You've got a contract with him that you can do what you're doing to him. Where's that contract? Where's that contract signed and witnessed with full closure and open and transparency? Meeting of the minds, where Tariq agreed to all this, so that you can go around with your for your corporation that you're doing it for. Because you haven't got it, guys. I'll tell you what, yeah, when justice comes, when it's just and the people stand, every single one of you have got to go and do this. And you think this is funny? I'm not being funny at all. I'm just being straight. And remember, you know, it's business, just like you're doing. It's just business. And if you ain't got the right paperwork, as you keep saying, yeah, because remember, like I said, those acts and statutes, rules and regulations apply to you and you alone, because you're the ones that signed it. If you're going to try and say it's on us, then prove that consent, because we formally challenge it here and now. I do, Tariq does, and I think everybody else would do as well. But you fools, you're fools, man. Don't you see what you're doing to your fellow brother and sister? I actually care for you because I know what you're doing. And I know that you don't know what you're doing. I've done a lot of stupid things in my time when I believed I was right in what I was doing. I'm telling you now, guys, stop it. And stop it and leave the man alone. Produce the material evidence to substantiate your claim that there is a breach of an order, because you can't breach a piece of paper. And no one can write that down without the full force of the law unless that court is authentic and valid. And there needs to be a statement of truth from a living man or woman that's claimed that Tariq has caused harm. And it better be inside a case management file. And it better be attached to an application form that's been sealed with a layer of information with all that substantiated evidence. Because as you should know, any claim made without substance can be dismissed without substance. I can't just turn around to you and say, you owe me your house. You're going to tell me to jog on, monkey boy, and rightly so. And just the same way as you can't say that there is an order, because jog on, monkey boy, that's just your stupid words saying that that's an order, because you've been told by an idiot that's doing what he's doing to you, and they'll have a laugh at you, because they've got you idiots going around doing the terrorization, just like the fucking veterans of the wars when they went out and fought all the wars. Then they came back realizing that they should never have been there. Well, you're going to realize it too soon, please. And all you council workers, and a lot of them are. No wonder there's so much of a suicide rate in all you guys. And do you know what? All the good ones leave. All the good ones leave, leaving all the idiots inside there. So is it because all you're a group of idiots that it's okay to do it because you're all idiots? It's not me speaking of that. That's the facts. If the facts tell you you're doing something without authority because it's not an order, you know you're an idiot. You know you're a criminal. That's malfeasance in office, guys. That's up to life imprisonment. You better take heed. I'm giving you a warning because I care and I love you all.
Tariq, who against some point? Hear us. We can't hear what you're saying because your camera's broken. Your camera is broken. We can't hear you say it. What you're saying.
I think she's a nice girl. I really do think she's a nice girl. In fact, you know what? The probably greatest majority of them are, really. Let's face facts, guys. I'm not here to pick on police. You know, I'm just pointing out. I point myself out to being a stupid twat because I've been a stupid twat enough times. And I've got every right to point everybody else out, especially if I'm doing it for the correctness. We have a right and we have a duty to do this, do we not? If you see a wrong, is it not correct, Mr. Policeman? If I see a wrong, if I see a crime that's being committed, should I not report it? I'm reporting it to you, all you police now, in the open and transparency, because I know I can't come through to you on the phones because there's too many gatekeepers. You don't listen to a damn word. You won't listen to sense because it's too sensible. You can't accept it in your mind that you could be being told lies by your boss boys. Do you know what Freemasons are? Because I don't think you're a Freemason, darling. I don't know your name, but I hope and pray, yeah, that you get listening to this. I hope and pray you do listen to this. And I hope and pray you go and do your own research and find out that what I'm actually saying is of material fact, that actually it's just a piece of paper. And you can't breach a piece of paper because it's got no authority. And you've got no consent from Tariq. I can vouch for that. I stand here now, sort of sit here now, and I'm making it for and on the public record. Tariq has never given his consent to be governed. Therefore, none of your acts and statutes apply to him because they are not enforceable. Proven by the Baron Davies Ward affidavit and statement of truth. And an unrebutted affidavit is truth in commerce, because that's all you're working in, guys. You're working for a corporation. You're on Dun and Bradstreet's, guys. Look it up for yourself. You're nothing but corporate thugs, mate, which is, you might as well call yourself mafia henchmen. You're just working for a private for-profit organisation going around collecting the revenue for them. Stop it. Because the sooner you stop it, the sooner we make England great again. Yeah, we make Greece great again. We make everywhere great again. We make this world heaven on earth. Stop it. You know, I do think this gal's a nice gal. I think she is.
It's coming out all broken. Okay, so we'll head off. It's quite at home.
No, there was care. You can see when they've got empathy. You can see when they care. You know, just the mere factor that she came up to say that the camera's broken, it's all, but you know that, you know. I don't. You can, like I say, I'm not here to call you police. I'm not here to call you. Hate the sin, not the sinner. The sin is, yeah, that you're enforcing an unenforceable fucking piece of bullshit. That's what you're doing. That piece of paper is nothing because it wasn't generated with honesty and integrity. There was no due process followed. It doesn't exist. It's all lies. Just paper terrorism. What you're all doing, trading on the insurance. You're even after the Mr. Tariq Zahid is a birth certificate, guys. That was created by the corporation. His mum called him Tariq. That's if you're going to give him a name, if he even wants a name. He's him. That's who he is. You can see him. He's flesh and blood. He's a living man. He's not a corporation. The corporation is what you're after. That corporation was created by the corporation, the daddy corporation that you're working for. And you're going around and collecting on the babies. Why? Go and take your birth certificate. It's nothing to do with him. He's the living man. I think Tariq's coming on now, actually, in a second. So let me just see if he'll invite. I think I can call him in, actually. His camera is not on at the moment. 1 second. On my page, I believe. All right, yeah. Thanks. Right. So, I mean, let's bear this in mind. So let me just go back to what I was doing, what I was sharing. So anybody in the area of this newspaper, okay. Anybody in the area of this newspaper, there's Tariq now. So anybody in the area of this newspaper, yeah, this newspaper needs to be hit. Yeah? And this newspaper needs to bring forth the evidence to substantiate how they can put this nonsense in the paper, because this is a lie. And here's the man himself now, and he can speak it for himself. So, I do.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's it like being a wanted
Fugitive?
victim? A wanted
Basically, I'm a fugitive.
Fugitive, yeah.
Unfortunately, but you know, this is what we're dealing with. Parasites, criminals. You know, they can.
I've put the challenge out because, as you know, as Baron David Ward, the late great beautiful guy, told us very clearly in his affidavit and statement that any presumption is not of material fact and only simply requires formally challenging.
Exactly.
So while you're free and away from these thugs that have beaten you up how many times? Broken your leg also, I believe.
Oh, I've lost count. Put it that way. I've lost count.
Yeah.
So you can at least minimum half a dozen times. Injured me, beaten me, hospitalized me, unconscious in custody, unconscious in prison, where they were leaving me for dead, and it was only because of my character, who I am, how I move. That the prison, at the time I was in a particular wing, they would have taken that prison over if they did not call the ambulance, because they were leaving me in that cell for dead. And the prisoners, knowing that I don't take drugs, knowing that I don't drink and everything, said, no, we're not having that. This is something else. You either call it, otherwise we'll deal with this situation. And they were pressurized. So then the ambulance and everyone came in the end and ended up being hospitalized. Otherwise, they would have attempted to leave me for dead. And this was literally 3 weeks before the retrial. But in the end, we didn't need the retrial because all the hard work I did in the prison, not the lawyers, I won. They had to release me. You know, because of my hard work. And that was not knowing what I know now. I knew there was something there. It made sense, but it just needed to just really dot the I's, etc. And when I came across Baron, everything that he was saying, I came across that material. But I wasn't comfortable to go in with it at the time because I already prepared myself in another route, which I was being assisted by someone else. But I won. But here we are now. We're now dealing with something else now, in the sense that these people don't care. They will take your life. They will harm you. Now, here are these videos that I've sent you off my security camera. Clearly states these people mean business. They don't want to listen. They don't want to respond to any of the paperwork or the demands. If you have a claim, he who makes a claim must present the material evidence of the claim. Show me it. That's all. I'll come. I'll deal with you. I'll talk to you. Not a problem. But the issue we're having now is that these people are just simply following orders. They will not carry out due diligence or process to see if the paperwork is correct. No, it's not like that anymore. They'll follow orders. If it's in the police national computer, the PNC, they will execute it. They don't need an instrument. They don't need to see a piece of paper. They don't need to see a wet signature. No, that's not there.
So out of the what's it? Yeah, out of what they put in the paper, which is breaching a stalking prohibition order, was it?
Yeah, it's a stalking order. Now they've only put a basic. Now basic, we're going back 1.5 years where a client who was from the Stand Up X group came to me for assistance. So she assisted me when I went to deliver Baron's case law. And where I jumped up on the walls of Downing Street in the first lockdown. She assisted, she did everything, and she was moving quite well. She then presented an opportunity of working on her boat, where she gave me the opportunity to run my business from the boat in exchange for me carrying out works on the boat. And I thought, beautiful, we both don't have to exchange cash. So that's how the relationship began. Client relationship, that's it. But she just behaved in a different way. I couldn't be around that. I left, but she just caused me problems. And this is the one that went around and started to tell people that why does he hang around with young girls? Well, she's 26. So she then spread that out to other boaters, and then but the boaters just come out cleanly. You paedophile, why are you around young girls? She's 26, 27 now. So this is what I was dealing with. So I left, but she's causing problems. Now, the reason this stalking, this fake stalking order, and it is clearly fake, and the police know it, because David Castle, who was the initial lawyer, said, you have got a result, because I've looked at your case, because I went to prison for that 1 week during the Euros because of a cock-up, what was going on, and knew nothing, but they sent me to prison for a week. And when I was released, David looked at that and said, you've got a result, because I've looked at how they obtained the stalking order. What they did very cleverly, without anyone knowing, was put that order through as a sex offenders order. So there's two types. They put me in the latter, the sex offenders. Now, this stalking order came about when I went to the property in Richmond, where she has a property, but she doesn't live there. She rents the property. So she is not there. She's earning £900 a month rent. She receives £900 a month as mental health. This woman is doing pretty well. People earning 30,000 a year don't even have that much surplus. So she has a surplus of 1,700 a month. Plus, she doesn't have to rent. So while we have homeless people, 300,000 homeless around the country, she's allowed to rent her flat out and no one does anything. So I went to that property one evening on the way after I got my things, left the job. I said, I'm not coming back. I took a photograph of the building where her flat is. Now, to get to her flat, she's on the second floor. So you've got ground, first, second. To enter the block, you have to enter with an electronic fob. So you can't enter the building without electronic fob. So you have no engagement, communication with anyone. So this is around about midnight at night. I took a photograph so I don't be seen, so I can go home to Surrey, because I wanted the photograph or the address of her building so I can invoice her for the works I carried out on her property and the boat. Since she failed to carry out her promise, was to move with the legal documents, assist others with Baron's affidavit, etc., she did nothing. I said, no, I'm not hanging around for that. You're not playing your part. Why should I be here? I'm not letting you get free things off me. So in the end, she called the police to say I'm stalking. Now, here is the thing. A woman that's also was given 100,000 inheritance to buy a boat from her grandmother, yeah? She has a boat, which I was working on. She lives on. So she lives at her mother's, Hounslow. She has a flat in Richmond and she has a boat. Which address is that stalking order attached to? Because you can only have it on one. You can't give it on multiple, and especially a boat. Unless you have a private mooring, you pay for mooring, which is like paying council tax on a property. The property doesn't move. The boat doesn't move unless you choose to move, but you're still paying for a mooring. You have a mooring, you have an address, you have a postcode. You can attach anything to that mooring because you have an address. Well, with just a normal boat that moves wherever you like, you can't have an attachment of a stalking order, but they gave it because they gave her a seclusion area that if I'm seen to enter in that 1 mile radius, I deemed breaking an order. I haven't been anywhere near her place because I'm in Surrey, she's in London. It's 35-mile difference. So I'm publishing all the crimes, how the police are behaving, not responding to paperwork, etc. Let me just put, what did I do with the key? Sorry.
To me, it sounds like, and how many times had you embarrassed the whole situation because you called them out before this stalking order came in?
Oh, before this? Oh, we've been going on years. How many times have I done it? Probably a dozen times.
Yeah. So you basically,
yeah, that was it.
What it is, that as soon as your name came in, they
Yes.
gave her every assistance impossible, even making things fraudulently just to get hers because they'd got someone to do it.
Well,
have you seen the case management file of this breach, this stalking order?
The only thing I've seen, whatever their paperwork is signatures, but they are what you call a facsimile. So they've been digitized. So they've taken a digitized signature of Carmela Cuesta and transferred it over to other documents. Me and Anthony, we went over these documents and said there's not a signature. We now want to see, did she get Carmela Cuesta to apply for that stalking order, have permission to complete a stalking order on her behalf? They haven't done any of that process. They think that they can take her signature one document, place it on another, and that's acceptable. No, that's criminal fraud.
Absolutely.
I want to see every step, the application for that stalking order made. Then I want to see the stalking order. And to date, no one has been able to produce it. Hence why I took it directly to Gavin Stephens, the chief constable. Numerous times I have sent him the emails and proof and everything regarding these cases and other cases, and he has not responded. Hence why I put out a little post about him being a criminal. I then took it to the brand new Lisa Townsend, Crime Commissioner of Surrey. I've just found out today she's taken around about £76,000 salary a year. So she's taken £76,000 of our public funds, and then she uses and secretaries to tell us, well, you have to go through the process with the police, such as the professional standards department. Okay, I've done that numerous times. But yet you want me to then go for another process. You say one process, when I go for it, you say you have to do this. Oh, we cannot get involved. You have to go to the police. They're all criminals. They just take a post, take a salary, and they ignore you. Especially with someone like me now. I'm now in their face, Andrew. I don't care. They are psychopathic parasites. They are criminals beyond belief, and yet they can roam around the street calling themselves police officers. And look what they're causing. They are causing alarm and distress to my family. They are scared because they believe that I'm going to die. And the way you've seen the recent videos, they came round last night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yes, the whole of the front lawn of mine was lit up like a Christmas tree. Because half the police force turned up just for me. Just for me, yeah? So they haven't stopped. When my mother, disabled, cancer, in that home, they came the same way. They didn't care. Are they going to care now? No, they're going to come even worse.
Absolutely.
Become harsher. And the chief constable, I am responsible for every police officer's actions. Really? What are you doing about it? He is a criminal, and hence they needs to be published. So, like I said the other day, we now need to start arresting. We now need to have brave men and women to come forward, right? And to set up a local police force within the area, just like the Jewish do in London. They have their own police force. They don't call the police. They have their own police force. And as soon as we see police officers roam around, we will then stop them, just like they stop us. Can you show us your ID? Can you show us your insurance? We want to see it all.
Absolutely.
You know, and what's going on right now? Family is scared. What do? I am literally a fugitive, but I'm not running around like a fugitive. I'm getting on with my life. It's not my problem they can't get hold of me. It's not my problem they turn up to my property and I'm not there. What, does that mean that I'm broken the law because you're turning up and I'm not there? This is what they're doing. And now all of a sudden they couldn't get hold of me. They've put this dirty, fabricated, stalking, a Surrey stalker, has connections in London and Thames Ditton. The Thames Ditton connection has come from the boater, who now have just found out through another boater that the boat didn't get stolen. He made out it got stolen, took it somewhere else, because he didn't want to pay for all the works that I've been doing on there. I also even paid for materials on that boat, which he was supposed to do, but he couldn't make it to the boat a few times. Goes, okay, I'll do it. I'll send you the invoices through phone and WhatsApp. I've told you that you just send it over to me. He goes, no problem. And all of a sudden, you know, in that time, I had to go to a friend's funeral. He was at my mother's funeral. His mother passed away. I had to be there because he was in Pakistan. He couldn't come back. Fine, I'm there for him. So, whilst at the funeral, and I was ill because I had tonsillitis, there was a few days had passed. So in those few days I was not at the boat was taken. Boats were taken along that stretch by the council, etc. And I'd let him know this. And he goes, you're supposed to be responsible for it. I'm not responsible for the boat. I can look after it when I'm there and I do my best. But I'm letting you know what's going on. It could happen, but you're lucky because you're not in that location other boats were. But it did happen because he's been in that position where you can only be there 24 hours. He's lucky he got away with it for 3.5 months. You know, the luck ran out. But he blamed me. He said, I'll go and get the boat. I've had tools on there that are very expensive. And then I found out through another boat who sent me a photo and said, is this your boat? I go, yeah, where is it? He goes, just down the road up there. And I go, really? So the client who we're in partnership with never contacted me. So he did contact me, took the boat. My tools are not there. He carries on. And I'm thinking, why did you not communicate with me? He goes, it's your fault that all this costs. It's cost me thousands. I go, how is it my fault? Boat's in your name, not mine. So anyway, he was
Was it stolen or did he take it? Was it stolen? Did he take it? Did he take it?
The way it is, yes. Because here what? I've got all the messages. And he would have contacted me to tell me where it was. And so I said, we'll go together, but you have to contact them because the boat's in your name. But I've let the police know. Anyway, the police didn't want to know. And he had then communicated with the police and gave them the location. Goes, he sometimes hangs around Thames Ditton. Hence why it's in that article.
Oh, yeah.
So this has come from him, not because anywhere else and where I am roaming. No one knows me there. So, and then the London connection is because obviously you're just in London around. Thames Ditton, Kingston is London now. So that's come from him. Now, going back to the article of fabrication, I communicated with IPSO. Now, IPSO is the governing body that look at all publications and to see if they've been adhered to the principles. And I contacted and I spoke to the boss, the head of systems, and she said that if they have not followed the regulations and the rules, guidelines set out for publications, then it is fraud. And I said, well, I have all the material evidence. You now need to deal with this. Now, I've sent everything off to them. Okay? I've even spoke to hunted down Liam Trim, I think it's his name, who published it. Now, he works elsewhere. Now, he's a digital publisher marketer. Now, it's really strange because how they're not operating, because this is how the government operate. You know, they're giving all the contracts out and out. So when you have a problem, you run around like a headless chicken to each department. Number of phone calls. So he works somewhere up in North. Well, it's Surrey publication. So they're now trying to hunt him down. I said, no, I want to speak to him. I want to know what evidence was produced or he asked for to go and publish that article. Because I've made it clear to them, this is all false. I have all the material evidence. I now require your insurance documents for anti-fraud. I want them now. And now it's been 2 days and no one's got back to me at all. Not one phone call. Now, if you look at somewhere else, I was looking in that same paper, there's someone else being stalked. I wonder if that man's case is real. There's another stalker allegedly in Thames Ditton.
Yeah.
But me, look how they've done me, a Muslim, an Asian man, 2 months after my mum was killed, and Surrey police said no to investigating my mother's passing inside hospital, which is suspicious, and it's been known by the medical doctor to say this is suspicious from a standard NEOP, and now she's dead. His own words. So this is what we're dealing with, Andrew. People, you need to really wake up, because if this is what's going on right now, who else are they doing it to? And if they're not doing it to anyone else, then it is complete discrimination because of me publishing their crimes, beating them at their own game. And now they think they can play like this because they know how I am with them, Andrew, and I don't give them any respect whatsoever, and they don't deserve it. But there you go. There you go, a falsified publication. And the best thing is, all I can say to everyone, it was the best things that they've ever done because they've shot themselves in the foot. Because I'm now demanding that very evidence of that order. Says in there's a stalking order I'm running away from. I'm not running away from nowhere. Show me that damn order. Show me the order.
Absolutely, mate. And
I
made it clear in my earlier. I put the formal challenge out to him, Tariq, on your behalf as well. But you've also put it out yourself now as well. You're putting that formal challenge out, just like that is all that is required. Because their presumptions and assumptions that there is an order is nothing of material fact, and they are now being formally challenged to provide it.
Right, formal challenge. A presumption can be destroyed for a formal challenge. A formal challenge is this: Gavin Stephens of Surrey Police, Emily Martin, DC, acting as Chief Constable of Metropolitan Police. You've had 1 year to produce paperwork and you've not produced it. You got this order in a honestly, criminal manner. I want to see the application made. I want to see the real wetting signature from Carmela Cuesta and yourself. I want to see the warrant from Staines Magistrates. I also want from Castle Partnership, that I have requested on numerous times, from John Evans and David Castle, your insurance details, as you were representing me, allegedly. And I have asked you to produce all the paperwork for the case management, and you have refused. You've said it doesn't exist. And when I handed that case law of Barron's in their hand, I didn't send a link, I gave it to them, a printed copy in their hand. And I said, there you go, David, you'll enjoy this. His name was David too. There is similarities between you two, but he turned out to be a traitor. And John Evans, this was John Evans. He says, what, that man that won a parking ticket, you think he beat the system, really? That was his words. I go, okay, he's done more than you, John Evans. He's produced more than you and achieved more than you, John Evans. You show me your case law, John Evans, walking in a court with a wig and cape thinking you are special. Show me your work, John Evans, because the only work I'm witnessing in court is you working for the other side and hanging your client that you say you represent. You are a criminal, and it's been proven in court. Okay? When you said that there was a court hearing in Staines 2 weeks ago, why did I not receive the case management file? Why did I not receive all the paperwork? And why did I not receive paperwork from the courts? Because there's paperwork from the lawyer and the courts. And then when I said I couldn't make it because of passing my mother, and you knew my mother had passed away, so you should have used common sense, being a lawyer, that this person cannot be forced into a trial, we will then move it to another date. Did you do that? No, you did not. So they went ahead and had one of their secret trials. So I'd like to know who represented me, Tariq Zahid, Mr. Tariq Zahid. Who did you represent? That's what I want to know. Who spoke for me? And then who gave the 1 week prison sentence? I want the name of the judges. I want the clerk's name. And I also want the name of the clerk from the last visit a year ago, who said, I don't need to give you my name because this is not a court of record. There you go. Witnessed by a lawyer, from a solicitor from Castle Partnership, witnessed by others. Yes, will they stand up under oath and say, I did hear that clerk say those words when I asked for her name and she refused to give me her name? So everyone in a magistrate's court do not have to comply with any request or demand. They don't have to say anything, and they don't even have to identify themselves. They can just say, guilty, this is all you need to do, prison. That's all they do. I've seen it from my own eyes. They're destroying lives.
I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. That's it. That's it. You know?
That's it. It's out. Now it needs published, and now I'm going to send this out to all the police officers and everyone in Metropolitan Police, Surrey Police, also Norfolk Police, where it all began, this journey of mine when I destroyed the Crown from within inside the prison. So that's how much you cannot bring me down. How many times have you attempted to harm me, send me to prison? I've been unconscious in prison. See here, I am breathing, I'm still alive. You tried to kill my mum over 10 years and you couldn't kill my mother. You gave her cancer, you gave her everything, and she couldn't survive. But you had to wait for a knee operation inside a hospital and kill her for your mandate and your so-called NHS protocols. Midazolam. That's your COVID, midazolam. Okay? You think COVID exists? Look at the protocols of NHS, midazolam. That's your end of life. 2.5 years of midazolam have been used within 6 months. Someone explain why, how, and on who. You know, there we go. So
I hope you please are listening to this.
I hope you are listening.
For your families too.
We'll be listening after this. So who are the ones who turned up 3 o'clock in the morning? We have you on camera. We have you. Okay? We have your mug shots. Every single one of you will receive that video. You attended that property. You now provide the order. You provide the warrant. And if it doesn't have a wet ink signature, if it's not a tangible, physical instrument in your hand to produce to me, you are not a police officer. In fact, a retired police officer once said to me when the first COVID happened, he goes, in fact, he is a police. They are police officers. They're not policemen or women as he was. He's 78. They are
Officers.
officers.
The difference between a constable and an officer.
So if you are an officer, I see that already. You don't need to prove anything. I've seen it with my own eyes and millions of others on camera. But if you are an honourable policeman or woman, you produce the evidence, you produce the instrument that you say you have, you say is in the police national database computer. You show it. I've done my part. I've carried out my part. I am not, and to all the people who are reading that article, I am not a fugitive. The police have made me a fugitive in your eyes, in the eyes of the public, but not me or my friends or my family. I am here, and I'm still getting on with my daily life. I am not running away. I'm actually laughing at the fact that you got so desperate that you had to put out the very photo where you forced me to have fingerprints and a photograph. Do you remember that day, officers, when you hospitalised me? You almost broke my leg. You almost made me unconscious. I was unconscious in the custody suite. Yes, and here I am, still to this day alive. You will never break me. I'll have to take an injection. But you remember, half the police force have come for me, and I'm still alive. So the challenge is now being brought forward. This is formal, on the record, under penalty of perjury. Produce the material evidence. And if you cannot, your day is coming. Your day is coming. And don't say that we did not warn you. It's been out there. Even now, COVID has been proven. It's midazolam. I witnessed it with my own eyes along with my family, and had a doctor and the nurses and even witnesses have said, no, this is not right. Something's going on. And you know what? It was a blessing. It was supposed to happen. What happened to my mother was supposed to happen. The script was written by the creator. Doesn't matter what you do or anyone else does. The script was written by the creator. He knows what comes before and after. So regardless what actions you think that you were doing, it's already been foretold by the creator. So this was a blessing. My mother got what she wanted, what she deserved. Yes, she got to be buried on the day, which is a blessing day for Muslims. Okay? And the proof is the signs from the creator, buried at the foot of the mother. Gateway to heaven beneath is at the foot of your mother. My mum was granted that. My mum was granted the best day to be buried. Granted that. Okay? Now, if you think that my mum hasn't been granted heaven, well, the signs are at Brookwood Cemetery. And even this sign, we as a family did not know that my mother was dead, had passed away. We were there just dealing with things, you know, Andrew. This is the funny thing, because my mum looked alive. It was on the ventilator, but then we realised, hang on a minute, that ventilator is to earn the money. Wasn't it? Each person put on ventilator, was it 100,000? There we go. 80. And there's another thing that clicked on me today. I'm thinking, by not covering a patient's feet, especially in the middle of winter, if you've got no covering on your feet and that coldness is drawn out from you, you will get very cold and you can die. So they did not cover my mother's feet. We arrived at the hospital, my mother's feet were uncovered. Window open. So someone with disability and everything, they knew what they were doing. And we witnessed it all, Andrew.
Didn't your mother even have to phone up? We had to shut the window because she was cold. Because the doctors wouldn't shut it. No one would help her.
They wouldn't shut it, but my mum finally managed to call out to someone, a member of family, got through to Manchester, to then call the hospital in Surrey to say, close the window. We couldn't get through. We were calling. Everything. So finally someone got through, but that's what happened. Everything about what they did to my mother, in fact, everything that they have been doing to other patients who have died, what they say is COVID, but it's midazolam. We witnessed it all live. Whole family. You know, it was going on live before my mum went, and how the doctors moved and behaved and what they said. And it was, So all the evidence was given to us live. You understand? This is why even now, 2 months on, we still haven't received any paperwork or medical records that I've demanded for the inquest. Now we're already approaching April. This 1 month, I don't want to be stressing myself because this is Ramadan for us Muslims. 30 days of getting my head down, getting my health back, etc. You know, but with this looming over me, can I really get my health back? Well, you're damn right. I've got all the whole community behind me. Let her please try and make an attempt. You've got the whole Muslim community and the rest of the surrounding community who know my mother, who knows what's going on. You really want to know who we are in this town? Everyone knows my family in this town. And everyone knows my mum. From Guildford to Woking and everything that was going on. So everyone who knows, even to the fire brigade, because I have friends in the fire engine I went to school with, they are absolutely disgusted. Because if you want to know who are the most honourable public service, it's the fire brigade. There is no one else. They are honourable just like the army. And that was told to me by an ex-police officer who was an ex-army general before he became a police officer. They are honourable people. So here we are, Andrew. It's out there now. We don't need to do any further. The evidence is out. It's now down to you. The ball is in your court. But we know you're not going to play fair game.
The challenge is a fair and honest and open and challenge to provide the material evidence to substantiate their claims that there's an authentic and valid order. There is no order. It's been challenged until it has been shown it is nothing. And you police that are following your orders, you're all malfeasance in office, period.
Maxim, in fact, he who makes a claim must present the material evidence of the claim, which is what I've been asking for the last 7 years on all cases. But relating to this pathetic fight, I'm a stalker. A man who's been caring for his mother since his birth. Yeah? Turns out to be a stalker. A man who cares has got a... I can bring hundreds of people to testify in a court of law. So I can laugh at it. Everyone else is like, even my family laughed. It goes, "Oi, do you know you're famous?" Okay, what are you talking about? It was like this, Andrew. What's going on? It goes, "Really?" And I laughed because it was the best thing that happened to me. You gone public now means what we've been trying to get public and all our material has been shadow banned. We can now go public to anyone who is not going to take this. We can now take it to the big medias and so forth. They can't refuse now. They took it public. They broke the chain. Yeah. Okay, for us. They broke it. We are now going public. You took it public. That's why we can take it public.
She's full on.
Yeah, you're looking down at us. You're looking down at us.
Liam Trim, you've got a formal challenge on you because you've done something horrendous, because you put something out without doing your due diligence. And that's in the public. You need to make a public apology.
Yeah, just hold it there. Can you zoom in? Is that name? Is it Liam Trim?
Yeah, there he is.
Liam Trim. This is for you. You, the man who published this.
Here's his face.
And now. No, Liam Trim, that's his face. Liam Trim, you the man who published in that article.
There he is there.
You must prove your due diligence. Did you ask for that order? I want to see that order because it says there, your publication, a stalking order coming from the police. Provide it, please. I have contacted your office. They said they're going to contact Surrey. And you were supposed to contact me. You haven't in 2 days. So now you will receive the link to this video, which is now gone live. I require of you to produce the material evidence. I require of you to produce the stalking order, the application relating to the order. And I want to see every wet ink signature on every piece of paper to substantiate that this is
and that goes the same
clear and honourable, lawful order. And if you cannot, start looking for another job, Liam, and make sure you've got a lawyer that understands what we do. Because we are coming for you, along with all the police. You think it's happening just because you wear a police uniform, McCoy said the police, you think you're honourable? You are criminals. You are on par with paedophiles because you follow orders from paedophiles. And when anyone follows an order from a nonce, a kiddie fiddler, you are a nonce by default. You want to take a salary from the public purse. and say that you... Oh, we've said it enough times. It's done. Don't need to. Don't need to. Challenge is it. What the material evidence. You will receive the link. That's it. It's down to you. What we do on the outside from now on, all I can say to you, you just start to worry, because the people are now going to click. Well, I'm going to make sure they click. It's clicking, but we now need a real spark.
And just, I mean, for the record, Mr. Policeman, you should know, you can go and look it up yourself. Malfeasance in office is up to life imprisonment. Do you understand? Right. We are trying to save your... We don't want you to go... We just want you to do what's right. We want you to go and do your due diligence. We want you to go and produce material evidence to substantiate what it is you're claiming. Because you made the claim, and the maximum law states that you now have to, because the burden of proof is on you. All of you. Yeah? And listen, like I say, a lie is a lie because he knows the truth. A criminal's a criminal what? So doing something that's criminal, if you didn't know it was criminal, what do you say to us, please? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So to you, Mr. Policeman, understand what you practice, what you preach now. Yeah? And those laws that you're enforcing, remember, they apply to you 100% because you have a contract. You have signed it. Yeah? So please.
Signing it under statute. That's right. A statute, a legislative rule, given the force of law by the consent of the governed. Okay? That's the definition of a statute that you will find in law. In fact, you won't find that very word for word definition of a statute in any law book, because Barron watered it down, simplified it.
It was beautiful.
So, and now it's the only definition accepted by a government, parliament as a whole, accept that is true before it even went into a dictionary. That's how powerful that is now, just that alone. So as you took an oath to execute statutes, acts of parliament, which is statutory, yeah, it applies to you 100%. So the fact that you have not to date been able to substantiate your claim, you are a criminal. It's a fact. It's a fact. We're giving you an opportunity. It's
not us that's saying you're a criminal. It's the fact. It's the fact. We're not the ones that's making the claims. The facts make the claims. The facts tell the truth because they'll always be the same. And don't forget that Baron David Wood's got the royal assent by default, by acquiescence. It's all been acquiescence, and you all know, yeah, that an unrebutted affidavit is true in commerce, yeah? It's the truth until you can rebut it, and nobody has. And don't forget, it's got the foundation of all 657 MPs as well, because they've all failed. They've all failed. And they would have had all of the best lawyers, mate, all of the top of the bar, black sheep, yeah? Those dirty little ones with the black robes that are just trading our deaths, trading our trusts. They're dirty scumbags, man. They're liars. And you guys, you police, you're just working for them, and they're coming up with what? To try and protect you. You can't be protected against the truth, and the truth will come through regardless. And one day, yeah, and it won't be the people. Nobody wants to see blood. No one wants to see anyone being beaten up. But with the law itself that you adhere to, that you try to enforce on people, that law you will be held accountable to. And when those courts of law do come back, and they will come sooner or later, it'll either be a people's court, which is exactly what this is right now. This is out in the public. For the public are the jury. The people are the law. The people are the ones that stand up and enforce it when they stand up, and they will. Because they've had enough of this. This is just one man here. There's loads of the people out there. Look what's happening to Sean. Look what's happened to Carol Woods, John Patterson, so on and so on and so on and so on. We can just keep reeling it out. And you're just criminals because none of you can back up or substantiate any of those claims against any of those people. You're all lies, 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 and working within them lies. Whether you know they're a lie or not is immaterial, because you know ignorance is not going to protect you. You should have done your due diligence, and just following orders is not going to protect you. One way or the other, guys, I would be very careful and very cautious of what I'm doing, especially if I was a policeman. I couldn't be a policeman because I couldn't go around and enforce something on somebody that never consented for me to be able to enforce it on them.
You got to be some
naive.
human being, because this is the funny thing, because they must have multiple characters, because a lot of these police officers are married, they have children, so they are a father, they are a mother when they're at home out of their uniform. So you're acting one way, and you're probably lying to your children or your wife. I mean, the kids probably asking you, how many criminals did you lock away today? Oh, quite a few. Really? Little do the children and your family know that you are the real criminal. But yet, you put on a uniform and you act in a totally different way.
This is another thing.
That's mental health. You all suffer from mental health. Because how can you be a family honourable and a family?
Tariq, just as a pointer, and I'm pretty sure that if there's any military guys out here, any veterans out here, you're all going to say the same thing as what I'm saying, yeah? You're all told that you're worth 10 civilians, right, yeah? So, and there's a training format that make you who you are, and this is the way they do it. Well, if I'm correct in saying so, because I'm talking from first-hand experience when the police wanted me to work for them, yeah? They kept saying to me, fox of the hound. Is that what you're treating Tariq as? Is Tariq a fox, is he? Are you hound dogs out there hounding him down? Is that the way your mentality is? Because is that the way you're being programmed by your masters? Don't forget who your masters is, guys. The people are your masters. The people are the true crown. There is the true crown, guys, because we are the crown. The people are the crown. The crown corporation that you're working for has no authority over a living man or woman. It's the dead entity. Corpse is a corporation. You're all dead entities after the dead entity. You can come around and take Tariq's fucking birth certificate and do what you want with it, guys, because that was a legal embodiment that was created for him. But he is himself as a living man. You have no authority over a living man unless you've got a wetting signature on an affidavit or a statement of truth made by a living man or woman, because it's not, is it? There is no record of it. Therefore, if there's no statement of truth here with a wet ink signature by a living man or woman making that claim under the penalty of perjury with the supporting evidence, because remember, any claim without substance can be dismissed without substance. You know, we can't just have farty burps. You know, these are just farty burps, mate, making claims. All of your stuff in this paper that I'm witnessing is all farty burps because there's nothing followed through with it. There is no substance in these. Where is the substance of the claim? Where is the order? Where is this sealed order with an authenticated signature on it, stating that its authority has been done correctly, because you can produce the material evidence of the application with a court seal on it as it's attached to a layer of information that included that affidavit and statement made under truth with an application filing fee, receipt attached to it. Because Tariq has never, and I can assure you, Tariq has never been served with any proceedings issued by a court. So you're all liars, guys. You're all liars. Prove me wrong, because we're challenging you, and so is Tariq challenging you. And this is open in the public. You made it public. Now prove it. You've said it in the public. That's malfeasance. You've lied in the public, and you're all on your oath. And we're holding you on your oath under the 7 Nolan principles. And now you must rebut it under the penalty of perjury to the people that you've now lied to.
Yeah? I served them a statutory declaration many months back. It's all on file. And still to this day, they haven't been able to produce anything, even just to try to end it all, but they're still dragging this on. So now it's down to you, officers. Also, Jonathan Lord, the MP for Woking Borough. You were the MP in 2013 or 15, was it? Who was served Baron David Ward's affidavit. You agreed to the facts. You, the MP, who is acting on behalf of our constituents, now have a duty to get involved, along with now the councillors within the Muslim community who are now aware of this situation. You now have a duty to call the Chief Constable, also Lisa Townsend, taking £76,000 a year salary, and you've ignored my emails. This whole harassment is continuing and is getting worse. and you are ignoring my email. So your time will come also, Lisa Townsend. So we're calling you all out. It's about time, because enough is enough.
Can I just ask the...
You did this once also last year during Ramadan. Pushed one of my uncles in the searing heat. And here we are, another month coming up for a Ramadan for us. And now look, they're still at it. No respect. They're no better than Israeli police. Criminal abuse of authority, public accession.
I'm just asking the question if we're still alive. But my computer's messing around now.
Yeah, this video has a video I've seen.
I've just asked if we're still alive. Just waiting to see if we're still live. I think we're still live, but it's just Facebook doing its usual thing. But I'm just showing the fact of what it is.
Yeah, I can see live in the top left corner of me with you, and the Facebook one.
Yeah, I'm just asking now. Well, obviously Frank's just put a message on there. Still live. Yeah, we're still live. So it's just Facebook trickery again, telling me that I'm closed again. I'm like, I've just shut them down. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm still here. So good. Okay, then. Stop showing them. Just show. I'm just showing you what they're doing. Just showing you. So we are still live. We are still live.
So we're at this junction now. Okay, that we don't need to do any more. I don't need to prove anything. Okay, when someone is making a claim, especially under statute, which isn't law, it's commerce. Okay, provide me the claim. The evidence of your claim, I will answer it. I will then hand myself in. But this is what is going to happen in the meantime. Officers, Woking Borough Council, MPs, Guildford magistrates, Guildford Crown Court, Staines magistrates. This will be also publicised through LBC radio in London. Because now you made it public and I have a London connection, I have every right now to go to a local London radio station, right? Beautiful. Thank you for opening the doors. Thank you for giving us that door so wide that you can drive a double-decker bus right up Boris Johnson's backside and it's still room for Priti Patel's head. Yeah, thank you. I can now do whatever I like now in the public domain relating to this falsified article, ruining my name, embarrassing my family. Who gave you that authority? I want to see it. Liam Trim, and what officer? I want to know which officer gave it to them. Where did it come from? Because still today we don't know that. All we know is Liam Trim published it. Who from the police gave it? Was it Metropolitan Police or was it Surrey Police? So it's either DC Emily Martin or Gavin Stephens. We want to know, where did it come from? I want a paper trail, if you have one. We all know it's all digitized now, so we know it doesn't exist. But
for on the age, I mean, for another factor as well, yeah, to all the policemen out there, yeah. Tariq, yeah, you can also look at it like this, guys. Tariq is the agent. He is the agent, yeah, for the Tariq Zahid. Okay, he is the agent. Just like all the rest of you guys, when you go in there and it's Somerset County Council and they send in an agent or a solicitor to speak for it, the agent cannot get done for whoever he's working for, yeah, who he's being the agent for. So listen, guys, yeah, you're after a legal embodiment. You're after a dead entity, yeah. You're not after the living man here, who you're seeing on this video right now. And he is not the name. He is not the name, yeah? He is a living man.
And you know that. You've got my affidavit, statutory declaration. It was served, Gavin Stephens, everyone. You agreed to those facts. So why are you now behaving this way? Because someone opened their mouth. A traitor. Now, another thing along with this, since it's related to stalking, so this Carmela Cuesta, who then started the ball rolling with the paedophilia comment. Now, Charles Clark, who lives on a boat, who called me the paedophile, who sent a text message to me and said, "You paedophile, stop hanging around with little girls." Well, if a 26-year-old woman is a little girl, well, then I really wonder about you. You also suffer from mental health, just like rental retard Carmela Cuesta. Okay? So this paedophilia comment, I would like you to now return all of my devices. That's if you have not destroyed it, along with all the legal documents and proof. You know, all the evidence, legal documents and proof of your crimes, which are in my devices. You have to return that. If you have destroyed that, that is also a crime for destroying evidence. Destroying evidence, public office, that's life. Right? You've taken my mum away. You walked into her house, distressed my mother without any respect. But now my mother's not here and you're continuing it? There was something wrong with you. So that's it. The evidence that has also been destroyed. Who is now going to be held accountable for that?
I don't think there's any mistake.
You wanted for yourself to look at evidence, and then you go and destroy it because there was one piece of evidence, which was that text message that called me a paedophile, which Anthony and I put an online report to be investigated about these crimes, including the paedophilia, and now we don't have the evidence of that paedophilia comment because they've destroyed it. And you haven't investigated the crime, which is in Metropolitan Police System. You haven't even acknowledged that. So there you go. It is obvious what is going on. You are criminals, and all you are doing following orders just so you can get your handsome salary at the end of the month.
Remember, it's not the Joe and the Bobby on the street, though, is it? I mean, I'm saying them Bobbies on the street. I don't think they're, you know, they're just, they're a hazard. They're a public hazard because they need to bring it into awareness of what's really going on. Stupid does what stupid does. Evil is what evil does, you know?
Society need to be concerned that this is how the public service is operating. Really, to operate in this manner, you trust the police. You believe that the police are doing right. I go, well, just all you have to do is sit in a courtroom. Sit in a courtroom for a whole day. You go from the magistrates and the Crown and you see the difference. You see the difference. Are they a court of laws? No. All they are just offices, commerce offices, open for business. The appearance is everything. You may see a wig and cape, believe you me. It's just for the appearance. So,
or on the record, by the way, Mr. Policeman, those ones wearing the black robe is actually classed as and called the mourning robe. The reason is because they're mourning the dead, because it's only the dead that they can call in, because it's a corporation, and a corporation can only deal with a corporation. They can't deal with the living. That's why they're calling Tariq, because that's his name. He's the living man. You're trying to call in his house, and you have no right over that.
And plus, you now know that by default my name is Baron Tariq of the family Zahid. I have now paperwork now coming with that name on there. So there's no Mr. If you're after Mr., you're looking in the wrong place. Because I don't know who Mr. Tariq Zahid is. I don't know who that is. Really? Tariq. That's what everyone calls me. Tariq. That's the Arabic version. Tariq. Okay? I'm not a Khan. I'm a Baron. So I've lived here all my life. So there we go. The evidence is out. The jury is out. So you are guilty. Okay, you arrest us, you investigate later. So in your eyes, we are guilty until proven innocent. That's how you operate. So right now, officers, the court of laws, etc., the court clerks, you are guilty for all treasonous crimes, malfeasance in public office, until you produce the material evidence for this claim and all other claims. You are guilty. Guilty as charged.
By the fact. And you should also face the penalties of the laws that you enforce, because those are the only laws that matter, and they matter to you.
That's right. You say that we should punish this person to the force of law.
Exactly.
Force of law should also be applied to you.
As Andrew from the House of Brogden says, you can't sue in a terrorist arena. This is the whole point. You know, there's nothing to enforce because there is no law to enforce yet. The only laws that enforce are being because of the corporation. And they're just rules and regulations that don't apply to the living men unless they've got a contract with that corporation. So it's obvious, yeah? Policemen, you're the only ones of those, well, not just you, anybody in public office, anybody who's signed that contract, that's what they apply to. Because in reality, guys, you're the governed and the people are the government. It's just that they haven't realised it yet and stood up. But we are. And we're telling you now. We're telling you. We're telling you and trying to tell you in the nicest way that, look, we've all been had over. Stop it. Give it proper thought. Go and do your own due diligence and you'll see that what we're saying here is fucking 100% the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. An unrebutted affidavit is the truth in commerce. That's what you are, guys. You're all in commerce. And you're going around. Why do you think you've got to get the name, guys? Because you're trying to get consent from the governed. You're trying to class them as governed because they're giving their consent because they're giving you a name. You're just trying to have corporate intercourse with them. F off is the answer to that. There's no sex coming on here. You're not shagging us anymore. The contract's off because there never was a contract. Never as a contract. There was never closure. You know what contract law states? Contract law would wipe it all out, wouldn't it? Because there was never a meeting of the minds. What was done to us all at birth was done by fraud. You know, and they did that fraud on our mothers to get us to inform on us and register to the corporation. No, it was all done by fraud. There is no consent to be governed in any man or woman in England, apart from those working in public office that signed a contract. You're the only ones that it applies to, guys, not us. Yeah, whether you like it or not, just because there's more of you and you've got big guns and clubs, but trust me, there's more people than there is of you. And when they do wake up like, yeah, let's just stop it. Let's stop it because it's going to get nasty. It's going to get nasty and we don't want that. We're not here for trouble. We're not here to cause trouble. We only want what's true. We want to put the cards on the table. You brought it out into the public now and Tariq's formally challenged you. I've formally challenged you as a member of what you class as public. Yeah, I'm just a man simply demanding that you do the honourable thing and be within reason and respectable to give and make us certain. That's all we want. Because we are already certain, because we've already been made certain. Tariq's been told there's no case management file. So if there's no case management file, then there was never anything in the case, then there was never anything to answer to. So Tariq never had anything to answer to, but your criminals within inside that public office have just carried on and made paperwork out of nothing because there was never a claim with a wet ink signature on it under the penalty of perjury in the first place that's in any case management file to create an order. Prove us wrong, guys. We've challenged you openly, in public, for the world to see. Yeah.
Statute. That's what you're executing. That's what you operate under. A legislative rule given the force of law by the consent of the governed. Do you have the consent of the governed? Fine, produce it. I'll answer whatever you want. If you think I have something to answer and I'm guilty, fine. You operate under statute, present the material evidence of any claim. You have now been formally challenged live.
Where are you claiming your authority from, police? Where do you think you get your authority from to do what you're doing? I ask you that. Where are you claiming your authority from to do what you're doing? That's very simple. Tell me where you're getting your authority from to do what you're doing right now to Tariq. I want to see where that authority comes from. Do you think you own him? Is he your slave? Is he your bitch? Let me see where you've got this purchase record where you bought him, where you own him. Let me see that. Or if you're not saying that, then let me see the contract that you have with him for you to be able to enforce any act or statute upon him. And if you're not claiming that, then let us see this affidavit and statement made under truth by a living man or woman that claims he's caused them harm, loss, or injury. Because that's all there can be, guys. That's very simple. It's not hard to, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Everything you're doing, yeah, just because you think you can do it doesn't mean you can do it. And it's going to come back to bite you. And you poor coppers out there that are going around knocking on his doors and they're going to go around doing all this, yeah, you're the ones that's going to fall for the brunt of it. Just like you see the veterans now, they're getting pulled in for things, yeah. You're going to be the same, mate. And they'll just stand back and say, well, you know, you didn't have to follow the orders, did you? You know, you didn't have to do it. You should have checked it yourself, shouldn't you? We just looked, yeah, we just told you didn't have to do it, but you went out and did it anyway, didn't you? That's what they will not stand up for you guys. You will be the scapegoat. You will be the idiot that just went and did it. Oh, we told him, yeah, but they should have checked it. You should have checked it. That's all they're going to say to you. Mark my words, because they won't protect you. They can't protect you because you've got no facts. You've got no substance, guys. And we're dismissing every claim that you're giving now because none of yours has come with substance. A piece of paper isn't substance because nothing's on it. There's no authority. An actual barrowman is higher than any king or queen. The words are there when you looked up in Latin and other languages. Baron is a barrowman. Baron is a free man. A man, yeah? All men are equal. Yeah? A king is sworn on an oath. Anyone below the king, yeah, working in that, either the parliament or so on and so forth was ever created, yeah, it doesn't matter because you're all sworn on an oath to the king. But the king swore on an oath. The men and women didn't. Yeah? So you're on that, you break that oath, yeah? You're the ones that are in trouble. You're the ones that have broken the oath. We never made a promise. We never made an oath. Yeah? Ours is insiders. We're not here to do any harm, loss, or injury. We're not here to cause any man, woman, or child any harm, loss, or injury. Tariq isn't, nor am I. None of us are here to cause any trouble. We're not here to incite violence. So don't try coming on us to say that we're here to trying to cause a riot. No, absolutely not. If people out there, which is what I want, in their singular capacity to stand up and make a noise and to share this out and to demand from you policemen and women that are going around coming out with claims that there is a warrant or there is an order that's been breached, we want to see that that order is authentic, valid, and been created with due process and without breaches of any procedures. And there is an affidavit and statement of truth made by a living man or woman with a wetting signature under the penalty of perjury with the supporting evidence to back up those claims. Because Tariq has completely 100% rebutted it all as lies. So there is no claim because it's been rebutted. And if there's any material fact of anything different, produce it. Because you brought this out into the public, now show it. Show your claim because you've made a claim. And the maxim says it, states it very clearly. And you can't rebut a maxim. Maxims are unrebuttable, they're facts. Yeah? So therefore, the maxim states very clearly, he who makes the claim carries the burden of proof. We state it right now. There is nothing here. And you policemen are going around doing because you're being told to do by criminals. And you're becoming, therefore, complicit in that crime by doing it. So therefore, you are now being criminals. And that's malfeasance in office, guys. And that is up to life imprisonment. I can't say it any clearer. I don't want any of you going to prison. I don't want any of you doing what you're doing. What I do want you to do is what we're challenging you to do, which is provide the material evidence to substantiate your claims. And I hope every single man, woman, and child out there also demands the same thing from all of you, because you are in that public office and you are there to serve the people. And the people should be all demanding you to provide that. Or come back, make a complete public apology and provide this man with some damn well what he deserves, which is some recompense.
Well, did you show earlier on the video security footage I sent you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. It's on this video, yeah.
You did the one where they turned up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I showed all three. I showed all three, and I also called out the names and the numbers on the ones that you can see the numbers. So I spoke to them direct. And
So there was the daytime visit, but there was the group that came last night.
Yeah, there's 2 videos of last night and 1 video of the 22nd of February.
Also, what I'd like to add, because it's connected, when we reported to Surrey Police, remember Andrew live reported my mother.
What date was that, Terry? What date was it?
Sorry?
What date was it we did the video where we reported it to the police? Not only did you report the suspicious death of your mother, which you presumed, which I also believe was a murder.
January, and we carried it out about 3 weeks ago. We did the video, didn't we?
Was it before the 22nd of February or after? I think it was before the 22nd of February myself.
What, we did the video? I think it was after, wasn't it?
Well,
but time flies, Andrew. It could be before.
I'm going to check that.
I think it was only 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
I'm going to check that.
But what I'm saying is this. Surrey Police, you failed to investigate a crime. And that in itself is a crime. So now I'm calling you now to investigate the suspicious death of my mother. Now you have said, oh, we have to wait for the inquest to be finished. No, the inquest is just to determine cause of death.
It was the 2nd of February.
Stop you from investigating the actions of every nurse and doctor to find out what happened, because the consultant surgeon, Consultant Bush, who carried out the knee replacement, has clearly stated that he is not happy. The coroner has said this, and we have witnesses, and you have completely ignored those facts because it was me. Metropolitan Police, you agreed to investigate. You gave a crime number, but then 1 week later you came back and says we don't have enough evidence. Yet you still have not provided me the evidence of what you investigated.
Here's the video. Here is the video, which I shall put in the in the link of this. I shall put this link in the video. But this is the video where you phoned up both police, but all the calls, the 2 hour 30. It was the phone call to the Surrey Police, which is where you added all your case numbers to it, where they were all fraudulent case numbers, which is what you were showing about the terrorism that you'd been suffering, as well as your mother. So you added all that to it. The second phone call, when you phoned up the Metropolitan Police, you just told them to go and get the recording, so that's why they took it. But I take it they would have got that recording and then dropped the case because you'd added those case numbers to it.
That's right, because Surrey, when they received the full information, because it involved police officers acting criminally, which is what we asked to be investigated, they said no immediately. We omitted that information in the phone call, but we didn't admit any information because it was already gathered in the first phone call, which Surrey Police said Met Police can ask us for that information. So we said, there you go, and they accepted it. But you are absolutely right, that is my feeling. They then looked at that information and then you turned on us.
Yep.
So
well, that's what I'm trying to say. So that was when the daytime one, they called me on the daytime one, which was on the 22nd of February. The video call that we did was on the 2nd of February. So by the time they came in,
time fly.
Yeah.
I thought it was only a few weeks ago. Look at the time.
Well, so it was. I was right in guessing because I'd already stated that. Yeah, you had done the reporting, and then the next thing is the police around there to try and get you. Up to that point, there was no court. There was no court. There was nothing.
Exactly. Only what we were publishing, and they were coming for us. I'm telling you, my family in a way are fearing because they said, right, you've got nothing to lose. You're on your own. They could just go and kill you. Well, the way they come for me, yes, there's a very huge possibility that could happen once I'm in custody. Yeah. Hence why I am.
Hence why we're doing this, by the way.
I'm not in disguise. I am still the same. I move the same. I go to my friends and family homes. I'm not hiding. I've got nothing to hide from.
Well, no reason to hide.
No reason to hide. I'm still mourning the passing of my mother, which you should be investigating. So you're not investigating, which means that you are complicit, the crimes being occurred within that trust. And Gavin Stephens, your very recent talk about, we would require an extra £10 increase in council tax to cover their cost, you know? So you are committing these crimes, you're ignoring everything that I've asked you to investigate, and now you are demanding £10 from every person, an increase in council tax for the police only. You understand? They want an extra £10 a year to do what?
Terrorisers.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not policing, you're terrorising.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And that's fact. Again, that's not me making that claim. That's what the facts make the claim on. Until you can provide, any of you policemen can provide the fact that that is a lawful and authentic warrant or order, should I say, yeah? You're working off nothing. Where's your facts, Mr. Policeman and women? Where has your facts? Because I can't see any facts. In fact, actually, what we have been told is there isn't any facts. The only facts that's coming out is that you're speaking words. Yeah, and you're putting things in the paper. That's facts. But what you're putting in there is lies. So it's a fact that you're all committing malfeasance in office. It's a fact that you're all slandering this man. It's a fact that you're all criminals until you prove different. Fact. Yeah? I think that's enough, actually, Tariq.
Yeah, facts are facts. We only require the facts. It's now over to you.
Yeah.
Officers.
This is your fourth challenge, yes. This is not just from Tariq. This is from myself. And can everyone in the, Can everybody in there, just for the, because obviously this is going to go as a live feed and it will stay on the Facebook. Can everybody just, because I mean, what is it? It's for numbers. As individuals, and I'm not asking you to ask, but if everyone just puts it in there, we all demand to the policemen that are watching this video, we all demand that they provide the material evidence to substantiate their claims and that slander that they've used against Tariq.
So all the thumbs up will be then documented and they will see that everyone demands this.
Yeah.
Yes, I think this should be simple. Every video, thumbs up, we agree that we require this to be investigated.
Yeah, as a public, So here it is, for every one of you guys out there, but it's probably half the ones don't listen all the way through, but the ones that are actually listening now, please just say, in fact, when I share it, I'll put it there. If you agree with this, put your thumbs up. Just give the thumbs up, or a love or whatever, Just give it the thumbs up. Give it as many as possible and share it as far as possible. Because remember, today this is Tariq. Tomorrow it could be yourself, a member of your family, your children, anybody, We need to make it so loud that they can't ignore it. This is what we ever did. It was about the people, and the people need to awaken, because remember, people, you're the government. We've been asleep at the wheel, guys. We've all been asleep at the wheel. We've allowed the governed to call themselves the government and class us as the government, as the governed, when we are not the governed. We, the people, are the government. They serve us, the people, not the other way around. Not the other way around, We all demand. See, they start coming, So we all do. This is what I'm trying to say, We're not demanding anything wrong, are we? Are we demanding? I thought this was righteous. We're in honour here. We've served it back. Prove your claim. Yeah.
It's a good analogy,
Use the facts. Von Stuart Taylor, elected councillor Windermere. This is from a councillor now. We have councillors here now demanding it as well. So this is, come on, guys. You policemen know damn well we're not doing anything wrong, do you? We're not here with it. We're not here with any ill vexatious or anything here. We just want the truth. That's all. The full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us all, God. Or Creator, or whatever you want to call it. The good is within inside all of you. Let it shine, police. Become conscious of it.
Yes, get out of that vehicle. Get it out of auto drive that the government, the system has put you in all your life. Take it out of auto drive and then drive yourself.
Actually, there's a good point that Andrew's just pointed out, about demand, because DE means no. Yeah. So yeah, he's put in order. Orders means order would be also not necessarily the right word for it either, because order is a vowel followed by two consonants, which also means both non-contractual words. So we command, as the people, we command, or one for a better word. We command that you do the right thing. We command you all now, as people, and that you serve. We demand you police, you public servants, do the right thing and provide the material evidence to substantiate your claims, or do the right thing and recompense what you've done and provide the remedy for the wrongs that you are now doing.
That's right. Yeah. When it was related, it says the word command is what we should use, because my wish is your command. That's how the king spoke. So our wish is your command, officers, councillors. It's been now put to you formally. We are commanding you. Okay? You now kneel and apologize.
And stop. I mean, because the simple thing is here, right? Yeah. Every single one of you police, yeah, are taking your wages. You're picking your wages up at the end of the week. And if you're picking those wages up, you know, and you know that you don't deserve them, you know, that's theft in itself. Yeah. So yes, we wish you to do the right thing, and we wish, and our wish is our command, and we command you and wish you now to do the honourable thing. Okay. As people, as equals. Yeah. Because remember, when you're out of that suit, yeah, when you're out of that costume, yeah, you're no longer a policeman. Yeah, you're a man now. You're back to being a man. So man to man, yeah, we speak to you man to man. Forget your stupid office, your stupid uniform, thinking you've got some protection, because it's not going to give you that protection. And we're telling you in your private and public capacity, we're wishing you will do the right thing. Otherwise, well, the people do it. Writ of mandamus, correct? Yeah, there's one. The writ of mandamus, yeah. Get it on, get it done. So be it. Anyway, Tariq, I'll let you get off, and
pleasure, everyone. Thank you so much, and let's see what we can do with this. I'm ready to send this video now to every single one of those police officers and councillors. Send it everywhere now, because this is now gone public. This is it. This is what we need. God bless.
They know. The police know. They know. They've got to know. If they can ignore this, then whatever, isn't it? Yeah. What comes next?
We're in war, aren't we?
There is to their rank. The command is needed when the bullets are needed. Save your bullets.
We're in war. Yes, that's right. Remember, people, in war you can take life if your life is in danger. We are in war. Okay.
The Castle Doctrine, yeah? The Castle Doctrine, yeah? The highest law of all is the right of self-defense. Policeman, you know you're doing the wrong thing by going and enforcing something that doesn't exist. That's wrong, guys. Do your due diligence, guys. On that note, God bless you, mate. May the force stay within you, and may the police force wake the hell up. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.
Goodbye.
Please share, everybody, far and wide, yeah? God bless.
Do that. Yeah, share and share.
Take care, mate.
Bye-bye.